Hi, Summertot Hill here, and every week on my Instagram stories, I host a Q&A with my followers. What you're about to hear is a compilation of some of those answers. All right, let's get into it. All right, Q&A this week is going to be from a New York hotel room, specifically from bed, because I am jet lagged as fuck, you guys. I've been awake since 3 a.m. It's been happening every day. I still don't seem to be adjusting. So as a result, I also don't really have enough energy to answer the questions in like that really in-depth, more considered way that I normally do. So what I think I'm going to do is a rapid fire format. So I'm going to answer questions quickly. Obviously the downside is the answers won't be as considered as usual, but it does mean that I will be able to get through more of them. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, do you think one can be a feminist without being an anti-capitalist? Rapid fire answer, no, you cannot. You cannot be a feminist without also being anti-capitalist. Basically, capitalism is a system that by its nature requires a system of oppression and a structure of oppression to exist. There have to be haves and have-nots under capitalism. Feminism requires the dismantling of oppressive structures, especially if feminism is going to be intersectional, which it should be and necessarily must be. So feminism is about liberation from oppression. We focus specifically on gender, but we do roll other types of oppression into it. Capitalism is the ultimate oppression. It is the ultimate systemic system of oppression. Systemic system. I am jet lagged. The other thing to note as well is that patriarchy and capitalism are inextricably linked. One funds the other and vice versa. How do you have hope that things will get better for women? Hard not to feel pessimistic. Yeah, totally. I get that. I get asked this question a lot and I try to answer it as often as I can because I think it bears repeating. But my answer is always the same, which is that we have small wins all the time. Progress is made. And I also know sometimes we have steps backwards, like what's going on in the US at the moment and in the UK around really rampant transphobia is very, very bad for gender equality. And that's depressing. But at the same time, in Australia, for example, we've had a number of laws and policies passed in the workplace in recent years, which make things much, much better for women than they were before. So sometimes it feels a little 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, but sometimes it's 1 step back, 2 steps forward. And we have to keep our eye on those good things that keep happening. And just personally, the other way that I have hope is that I am actually taking some control and doing something about it. So I am here every day on Instagram and on some other social medias doing feminist advocacy, education, activism to an extent, I suppose. And so it's sort of I'm taking control of what I can control, and therefore I don't feel hopeless and exhausted about it because I'm helping. But I realize that that's not possible for everyone. And so for you, if you're not, an advocate or an activist or something, it might be more about taking that opportunity to self-care and rest and forgive yourself and do as much resisting of capitalistic, patriarchal expectations of your labor and your energy as you can. It's what's that saying? Rest is resistance, I think, or something like that. Rest. Take it easy, What to say to women friends that believe feminism has made life hard for them? You say, feminism is the political movement that has empowered and enabled women to be allowed to form any kind of opinion at all, even if it is a wrong opinion, which that one is. How to deal with the exhaustion that comes with living in and fighting a patriarchal system. I feel like I partly answered that before when I was saying, I take control, I perform activism, and remember that we have gains. But one of the other things I think we can do is make sure that we are in close community with our women friends and queer friends, people who are affected by patriarchal oppression, because it is really energizing to be able to have intimate conversations with people who relate to our experience. So sometimes we can be more significantly exhausted by patriarchy, and probably by any kind of oppression, if it feels like we're alone in it, but we're not alone in it. So if you don't have a community of like-minded people who you can bounce your frustration off and who can kind of go, yeah, I know exactly what you mean, I experienced that too, then you can certainly feel much more exhausted. So I would certainly recommend putting energy into having a community if you can. How to ask a new man if he's on our feminist agenda. You know, I get asked this question every single week as well. And I think the thing is that you kind of can't ask a man if he's a feminist, because like men have realized that they like should be feminist, and so they will pretend, or they will like self-style and label themselves as feminists if they think they are. But a feminist is as a feminist does. So you can just ask him outright, and I think you can be so bold as to do that, because if they say no, then like in the bin immediately. But you also maybe sometimes will shoot yourself in the foot by asking them straight out, because that gives them the opportunity to lie. Whereas it's better if you develop some sophisticated questions that tend towards showing you about their views on women and gender in ways where they don't necessarily realize that that's what you're doing. It's the end of my Q&A, and at the end of every Q&A I do just drop a donation link. If you have found that the content of my account has helped you, you've gotten some advice, support, something that helped you to sort out, you know, the oppression going on in your own life, or to understand things that are happening to you, or to give you inspiration to move forward and live a more liberated life, please consider donating. Like I always say, we should pay women for their labor. But I love you guys either way. I'm too tired to like say more than that. Jet lag's fucked, guys. But I'm thinking of you, and I will be posting incessantly to the gram with pictures of New York. Bye.